Hi, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Yeah, you guys, I decided to put this video out on Tuesday in remembrance of Memorial Day. I thought we should, take that time to spend with our families and also remember all the men and women who have died for our country. So that's why I kind of waited and putting this out on Tuesday. And also, you guys, I don't even know what to say about all that has gone on with Rob Elementary. My heart is just broken pieces, as I'm sure all of yours are as well. I just can't imagine what any of them, the children, the families, the parents, the grandparents, what they are going through at this time. And I don't know if any of you are, from Texas or the area. And, I just can't even believe it. And my heart just honestly aches for anyone that has gone through any of that. No child, no parent, no grandparent, no sister, sibling, mother, father, anyone should ever have to experience what has happened there. And I just wanted to take a moment of silence, in remembrance of those children. So a lot of things have happened, you guys, since I posted my favorites Amazon video. And yeah, again, I am just as shocked as anybody that all happened. It is just devastating. And but I do hope you guys did have a very nice long weekend. I hope everything was safe and everybody stayed safe. And it just was so nice to be with families, especially around this time. But you guys, I think what happened triggered something with the menopause with me. It really kicked it in full gear, and it just was the worst, I would say, week and a half. I have felt things coming on, and it just wasn't as intense. And the reason why I'm doing this video, you guys, is because it was actually on the plan to do it, just further down the list. I went in search of a video to help me, because to get me through this. And I was just looking for someone normal, not a doctor, not an interview, just something raw, something that, someone's talking about and making me feel like it's normal. And I couldn't find anything. So if it's out there, I just couldn't find it, or I just wasn't looking hard enough because I was very overwhelmed, you guys. So that's why I'm doing this video. I just want, if I can help somebody, if somebody can help me, I think this is great for us girls to be able, and men, you guys, men go through not menopause, but their hormones, fluctuate. So men and women can go through this, and it's very scary to be in it alone. So feel free, please, to write in the comment section. If this is common, if you've experienced it, if you have, just whatever, you guys. That's why I do it. I feel like I'm talking to my friends, and I'm able to tell you things. But a lot of the stuff is going to be, it could be disturbing. I mean, it really is. And because, it's not the person that you guys know that you see here, I'm going to be raw, you guys. This is going to be super, a lot of it can be embarrassing. A lot of people don't talk about it because it can be embarrassing, but I just want everything out on the table and for us to be able to talk about this and be okay. We shouldn't be embarrassed. We can't help what's going on with our bodies. So that's what this is going to be about, you guys. It's going to be pretty, and unlike my usual videos, usually I'm a very upbeat person, you guys, and I'm still am. It's just what I'm about to tell you. It just was a rough week, maybe two. I don't even know, you guys. I lost track of time. It was so bad. But if you're new, welcome, and yeah, it's a doozy. It's something that you kind of walked into, but hopefully, this can help you if you're going through the same thing. But the way I do this is I just apply the makeup. I rarely talk about the product. Every once in a while, I don't have anything new, so I don't really have to talk about that. But I'll just show what I'm using, and it's basically just to get ready with me and girls chatting. So that's what we're going to do today, you guys. I've already sprayed my face with hydrating mist, and I'm kind of going to work backwards because let's address the elephant in the room here. This is part of menopause, you guys. I have completely broke out, and it could be the stress, and it also could be that I did, or they upped my prescription with the Curology and upped the tretinoin in it. My skin could be purging several different reasons, but see, you guys, I do have bad skin days. So I've already sprayed my face again with the hydrating mist, and I'm actually going to put on any kind of primers or anything because I do want, I am going to like spot conceal, and I want that to dry completely before I go over with foundation. So let's begin this, you guys. Well, I don't even know where to start. I guess let's start from, I'm going to guess that this all began in about 2012. So that puts me at like 41 years old. That's when I started noticing a change in me. And I was in Virginia, and I remember it distinctly because I made a appointment. He was new to me because I had to find a new one there. And I felt desperate enough to go and ask for a blood test because I'm like, I'm going through menopause. And the thing is, you guys, my mother also went through menopause very young. And I thought, okay, this could be happening to me as well at a young age. So, I went in there and I told him, the situation. And the reason why I thought I was going through menopause, you guys, is a lot of it was I was having some mood swings. Nothing crazy, but enough to bring some concern. Also, my libido or whatever woman would call it, but I had just no interest in intimacy at all. And my periods were a little messed up, you guys. So I just thought I go, well, maybe it's just the beginning process. And I think I was having just slight like sweats, night sweats, but it wasn't crazy, just slight. So I thought, okay, well, it could be that. So I made the appointment. He did a full blood panel and told me everything looked normal. But it just could have been the beginning process of that. So, so that's when I think it all started. I think the intense part started, it's been about 2, maybe 3 years. And intense mean, the sweats, the night sweats, really picked up. And then my periods became ridiculous, insane. They were out of control. Sometimes I would have 2 or 3 a month. And then sometimes they were super heavy. And yeah, they just were all over the place. So again, I made an appointment with the gynecologist, and we did a full blood panel, and things were starting to show up a little bit then, but nothing for them to be concerned about. So again, I was kind of being blown off, and I was getting frustrated because I'm like, I know something's wrong with me, or not wrong, but I know I'm going through something. And they just kept saying, no, everything looks pretty normal. Well, I didn't feel normal, you guys. I didn't feel normal. I haven't felt normal for, like I said, about 3 years. I know for sure. A lot of it started with dizziness. And again, this could be because I have a hearing problem, but I felt off balance. There was times I seriously thought I was going to faint. And that was even before the heavy periods, you know what I mean? Or not even during the time of heavy periods. So because I know that can be a problem too with people is, if they have really heavy periods, you can become anemic and, have fainting spells. But it always felt like I was going to faint, but I never did, thank goodness. But it's very scary when you go through that. And I had like panic attacks over it. And one time I actually got hospitalized. I went to the hospital because I was so scared. I was convinced I was having a heart attack. And because my heart was racing, I felt very dizzy. Spent several days in the hospital, and they did all the stress tests. Everything was fine. Um, and then there's actually a funny story that comes into play. I actually think I told this in one of my earlier videos because this happened. Um, so even though all this was going on, you guys, um, like I said, I started skipping periods. Well, we were out to dinner. It was my mom, Daryl, and I. and I hadn't had my period. And I'm like, I am convinced I'm pregnant, you guys. And I mean, I'm in panic mode. I'm like, oh my gosh, my mother's going to have to move out because I'm not going to give up my beauty room, I guess. I don't know, you guys. This is how I'm thinking, panic mode's kicking in. I'm like, okay, where are we going to put this child? And I mean, it was seriously comical. And Daryl is like almost in hysterics laughing at me, and I'm getting mad. I'm like, why are you laughing? This isn't funny. We're going to be parents again. I'm almost 50. And he goes, Laura, you seriously don't think, it could be possibly menopause? And I'm thinking, absolutely not. I'm too young, even though I've already suspected that I am. But when you really think that it's going to happen, you start turning back time quickly. And it just, no, I go, no, I am convinced that, this is a possibility. And he's like, well, it's not mine then, because he was I call it fixed several years ago. And I'm like, well, Daryl, that doesn't mean anything. People have gotten pregnant with that, with men having a vasectomy or whatever it's called. And our luck, this would happen. And so I made him, you guys, stop at the drugstore and pick up a pregnancy test. And yeah, I took the test. Of course, it was negative, but that's the funny story through all this. The rest is not so funny. And, but, I have to tell that part because it is super comical. The intimacy has been, poor Daryl, I just feel bad for him because I just have no desire. First of all, I've gained a lot of weight. For me, I have put on quite a bit of pounds. A lot of it was during COVID. I think a lot of people gained weight during that, and I never lost it, and it just kind of keeps continuing, and it's really becoming a nuisance. I know I'm not, super overweight, but for myself, I'm overweight. I feel uncomfortable, and I'm not comfortable in my own skin, and I'm not comfortable with intimacy for sure. So that's a problem again. My periods, you guys, were, like I said, just all over the place, and that went on for like 2 years. That was going on, where I couldn't get a handle of it. Like I said, I was going to go to the doctor. Maybe they suggested even getting an abrasion, and I'm like, I don't know about all that. You guys, I'm a baby to doctor, so yeah, I'm gonna do the other eye, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to use my She Glam liner here, and this is the brown, I believe. So for the past, I would say 2 or 3 years, have been a little intense. And intense, I mean, the night sweats have gotten worse. The confusion, I get very distracted very easily. I get edgy, and that's, and I can't stand it because unfortunately the ones I love the most are getting, the blunt of that. And what else has there's been, things I can't forget, remember anything. I get very tongue-tied very quickly. I can't even tell you guys how many times I have filmed a video and had to start all over because I just couldn't, think of the word. It was almost becoming very scary. And, I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting onset dementia or anything? I mean, these are serious things that are going through my head because, like I said, they're words that I should remember, or I can't say the word, and I'm like, it's seriously like over and over. I really could never say it. And I end up changing the sentence because I could never just say the word. So it's very, very scary. And I don't know, again, if that has anything to do with the menopause. I will tell you guys, I have made an appointment, and I have an appointment next Thursday with the doctor. So, they're going to do the full blood work, all that. So we will probably, hopefully, know more. And yeah, my wings are completely crooked. So I am going to try to fix that. Yeah, that helped a little bit. Oh, well, you guys. I'm actually going to be going out in the yard and doing some yard work after this, so it's really not a problem. Okay, so this is pretty much dried down, and I'm just going to leave it like this and see what happens. And okay, you guys, so that, the confusion, everything, and the night sweats got really bad. And for the past year, I haven't had a period. It'll be a year in June that I haven't had a period. Up until then, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm out of the woods. This is it. This is as worse it's gonna get. The night sweats actually got better. The day sweats, okay, let me go back on that a little bit too. The day sweats, it wasn't even a sweat. It felt like fire went all through my veins, and it just was like, oh my gosh, like this rush of heat went over my whole body. And at first it was very scary. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Because I have high blood pressure too. So I was nervous, with that. My mom said, absolutely not. That happened to me, it's normal. And I'm like, okay. So I took a word for it, and, it had to have been because nothing came out of it. But it's very scary when it's happening. And, if you've experienced that, I feel for you because it's very annoying. Now, Kurt's wedding, that day was the worst. Of course, it was the hottest day anyway. And, I think my menopause and the stress, it was just really on high gear. You guys, I sweat so profusely at his wedding. It was so embarrassing. That's why I really never posted a lot of pictures. I looked absolutely horrendous. Again, I couldn't lose the weight for my son's wedding. I was very frustrated with myself, being very angry with myself, that I couldn't make that happen. It was just absolutely horrible. The makeup turned out awful. I'm in some of the wedding pictures, and you guys, I came to bring myself to, display one because I am just so horrified with that, and that just haunts me every day. I just, you guys, it's just devastating. And it's probably not as bad, as I'm making it out to be. Have you guys ever gone back on pictures and you look at a picture and you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was heavy then, and you really weren't. Hopefully that will be the case in a few years, but right now it's just too fresh in my head, and it just was, again, I felt awful that day. My hair was a sopping mess. Thank God the hairdresser was at the wedding and she was able to fix my hair, throughout the time, but it still looked absolutely horrible. So yeah, you guys, it just, it interferes with a lot of your life, and especially that, and to this day, I'm just so saddened by all of that because I really didn't truly enjoy my son's wedding because I felt horrible there. I felt so hot, sweaty, I just felt really uncomfortable. I felt ugly. I felt heavy, it just was a nightmare. So, yeah, I'm just saying these are the things that can kind of really work on your brain. After that, it got a little better. Again, I wasn't having my periods. I think that I was taking some estrogen pills. You guys remember those? I put it in one of my, I think it was favorites or monthly, something. I'll try to find the video and link it, but I was taking those estrogen pills, and that really did help. And of course, I didn't find those till after the wedding because maybe that would have really made a difference. And I honestly, you guys, those are great little pills. If you have really bad night sweats, I mean, it doesn't stop them completely, but it will, slow it down. Now we're getting closer to what's kind of happened. Yeah, it was very, very, very scary. And like I said, I don't know if that awful, awful occurrence that happened with those children in the school, I don't know if that triggered something in me. But it kind of even started before that if I look back. Again, like I told you, I've been kind of edgy. Any little thing kind of would set me off. And, there's times at work I've seriously, if things got too intense, I mean, I seriously could see myself walking out the door and being done. And that's just not me, you guys. I am the manager of that office, and I can't be like that. And I just find myself, it's just hard to concentrate. Um, you know, I used to be able to multitask, and I'm finding that harder. So, you know, it's just been really starting to get really bad. But where it started was where I could feel it getting really super intense. It was just a couple weeks ago, you guys. It was with that video. I don't know if you guys remember, and I put out something on the community tab that YouTube had taken my video and made it private so you guys couldn't even see it. And some of you were watching it mid video and it cut off. And I got an email saying that I went against YouTube guidelines. I'm like, what do they mean? I don't even swear, you guys. And only because, not because I don't swear. Trust me. I'm actually really bad, you guys. I live with a mechanic. But I didn't want that to be part of my channel. You know, I don't know if, you know, young girls are watching my channel. You know, I have respect for that, you know, and there's a time and place for it. And I just don't swear on my channel. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't even swear on my channel. I'm very cautious of what I do. And the only thing that I could think of that could have possibly caused them to pull my video was that I had put in the thumbnail, I cheated. And, you know, I guess I thought somebody had reported me saying that that was false, or what did they call that? Clickbait. So at this point, I am just devastated, you guys. I'm going in a panic mode. Let me rewind on that because I'm always rewinding. You get a lot of foreshadowing here. But let me rewind a little bit because that video was a nightmare from the start. I filmed it. Everything went really well. And when I went to, I edited it and I went to save it. And you guys, the process of what I have to do to get it to upload is a nightmare anyway. And so I went to go save it on my phone and it would not save. It's saying I didn't have enough space in my phone. You guys, I'm deleting apps, deleting every picture, basically. I'm deleting everything that I possibly can without jeopardizing what's in this video. I can't get it to work. I'm like, I was up, and I'm not even kidding you guys. I was up to 4:30 in the morning. I woke up at 6 to be at work. I was on an hour and a half of sleep, so I'm already like insane. You know, I felt drunk going into work, and then I finally get it to work, you guys. What I had to do was save, upload in increments, you know, like that. So again, I got it to upload. Everything was, you know, fine. I think at the time when I noticed last, there was like maybe 137 views, which is pretty good for me. You know, being a small channel, it was only up for a few hours. I put it out late because of all the chaos. So I was pretty happy. You know, I thought the video was going pretty well, like I said, for my channel. And next thing I know, you know, because I woke up early for some reason, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. I went back to do some editing. It's like I forgot. I think what I had forgotten was to put something in the description box. So I went to go and just do that. Well, when I did that, all of a sudden, that's when I noticed I couldn't hit save for it to save for you guys to see. I'm just putting this in the back of my hand and going in, you guys. This is actually a concealer, but I'm using it as a bronzer. And so yeah, so anyway, that all happened and it was just devastating. I was freaking out. I was crying and I could feel myself unraveling very quickly, you guys. It was really bad. It was to the point, it was scaring me, because I'm like, why am I getting like this? You guys have heard my stories. You know, I've been through a lot of stuff. This shouldn't affect me the way it did. And, you know, seriously, like this whole ceiling could start leaking right now. And I'd be like, you know, because I've gone through so much in my life. And so I was kind of shocked that I was letting this really affect me like it was. And like I told my mom and others and some of you, you know, that I talked to on direct message over on Instagram, I said, it's not so much about the video. It's just because I think what happened, you know, all that I went through to put that up. And had that not happened, maybe I wouldn't be acting the way I am. I mean, I don't know, you guys, but I think the hormones were really starting to kick in then. I went and searched and I found a video. This guy said there's a glitch in YouTube. You know, don't make any edits in your videos, blah, blah, blah. What happened to me is going to happen to you. So you guys, I just went, oh, well, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do. Things started calming down. And so I found a back way into YouTube and let them know that, you know, hey, you still got my video down and there's nothing wrong with it. So, you know, after I did that, I think my video, yeah, I'm actually going to put it in the back of my hand, you guys. I'm going to try it this way instead of trying to go in full with this. So once I did that, probably within an hour and a half, my video was back up. But the reason why I'm telling you that story is that's when I think it all started. Again, because of the things that went through my head. You know, possibly quitting the channel, which, you guys, I just don't never want to do that, but it seriously crossed my mind, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm too, you know, overwhelmed. You know, I have a lot on my plate. You know, I work not full time, but almost, and you know, I'm trying to do this, and I know a lot of people do this, you know, but some people can handle more than others, and you know, I was just thinking, well, maybe I'm just at, you know, maybe I got to cut somewhere. And I thought even, okay, maybe I'll just cut back and maybe do one or two, you know, one video instead of two. Okay, so fast forward, we're into today, or this episode. So after that, things just got, it never got better, you guys. It just kept going downward, downward. First of all, was, you know, probably lack of sleep. But then, you know, it seemed like I caught up with my sleep. And then this, you know, incident with the school, Rob Elementary. And I'm like, you know, this world is ridiculous. You know, I just was so upset. That's why I don't watch the news, you guys. I try not to, but of course that was, I mean, national news. Everybody, you couldn't escape it. It was everywhere. And I just felt awful. And it kind of put me like in a depression. I don't know how to explain it. I just started feeling myself, you know, very sad. But rightfully so, everybody was. But I couldn't get out of it. And you guys, I had, let me think, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. Today's Saturday. Those 3 days, I wasn't myself. You guys, I was a person I did not know. I don't even know what happened. I was enraged. Like any little thing, I would literally want to crawl out of my skin. It's the only word I can explain. I just felt like I needed to crawl out of my skin. And then I just wanted to sleep. That's all I wanted to do, you guys. I didn't want to do anything. This is even prior to this, you guys. No, I forgot a part. I was with my mom because it's kind of a big part too. So these are things that are happening. So I was with my mom, and this is all, actually it's the day that the video went down. So we went out, like I said, we went shopping. I'm like trying to get my head off it. I'm like, you know, heck with this. I am just going to, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. You know, YouTube is going to do what they're going to do, and you know, and hopefully they will fix it. So anyway, we went out shopping, and so that already started the day. We went out to eat. And then we went to Kohl's, and I used the restroom at Kohl's. So those are the only two places I went. I went to go purchase something from Kohl's and went up to pay for it. I could not find my bank card. And the only place that it could have been was either the restaurant didn't give me my card back, or it was, you know, in Kohl's in the bathroom. And I had dropped it, you know, going through my purse or whatever, and it, you know, fell out. I ran back into the bathroom, and of course I couldn't find it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I gotta get out of here. I gotta call the bank and cancel that card. Because, you know, what little's on there, I don't want it gone, you know. So I'm in panic mode now. Usually I can get in panic mode and just be, you know, a little ridiculous. This was out of control ridiculous. Again, my mother's with me, and she's like, you need to calm down. You know, you need to pull over. Because at this point I'm driving and trying to call the bank, you guys. I hate texting and driving, and I'm just trying, and finally, you know, I listened to my mother and I pulled over, and I'm like trying to get a hold of the bank. Why won't they answer? You know, they keep telling me, you know, push this, push that, and I'm like losing my mind. You know, I'm, you know, going crazy, you guys, literally acting insane. And to the point, like, my mom is like looking at me. She goes, you know, please calm down. And Finally, I calmed down enough to get to the bank. And I go in and I said, you got to shut my card down. And I go, what's the last purchase? And they told me it was the restaurant and blah, blah, blah. So that is like the beginning of the downward spiral. Yeah, you guys, I could not bring myself to do anything for those 3 days that I had off. I mean, again, it could have been exhaustion. It could not. But then when I would wake up, I can't even tell you, like, it took everything in me to take a step. I literally, it was like I had 10,000 bricks on my shoulders. I was just, beside myself. And then every second I was on the verge of tears. And then I finally did break down, like sobbing. And of course, Daryl, every Thursday, he goes to his parents' house. And I didn't want to bother him. I'm like, that's his visit with his parents. I didn't want to go to my mom because at this point, she probably thinks, oh my gosh, what is going on with her? Even though she's already been through it, you guys. I should have went to my mom, but I couldn't. And so the only other person that usually can always make me feel so much better is my son, Kurt. So I text him because I knew he was at work and I said, hey, can you please call me when you get out of work? So he kind of did, I mean, it's unusual for me to do that. So he probably thought, oh, she needs something or whatever. So he didn't call me while he's on his way to a concert, with his wife and I believe the in-laws. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting into this. I'm going to ruin his night. Well, Kurt's he knows when something's wrong, and he was pretty insistent. And I said, listen, I go, it's not a big deal. I'm fine. I go, you know what? I just had a bad day. And he's like, well, what's going on? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I tried to convince him as much as possible. And so he said, well, I'll call you tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, well, he called and I just got into it with him just a little because I had calmed down at that point. No, this is Friday. I was supposed to meet my sister and my dad. We do this either every Wednesday or every Friday. We try to at least, twice a month. So that was the plan. And the plan for me was I was going to take a shower, film a video like I normally do. That was the plan, you guys. This is when everything just falls to pieces. I'm getting ready and it's almost like I forgot how to put on makeup. It looked like poo, you guys. It was ridiculous. I'm like, what is going on? Like it's like my hands would not work right. I can't explain it, you guys. It's because I was so stressed and anxious and obviously I think my hormones were just on fire. Well, at the time I didn't know. I'm just thinking, what is going on with me? And the whole time I'm like, I do not want to go anywhere. I told my mom and she's like, okay, we got to be there at 11. And I'm like under my breath saying, I don't want to go, and she, just kept getting ready. And so now it's time. Well, we're running late now. I mean, it's so bad. Like we usually meet at 11:15. It is now like 11:40 and I hadn't even done my hair. I haven't even finished my makeup really. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So finally I get done. It's around noon. I look like crap. My hair looks like crap. It's thrown back in a half, ponytail. And yeah, it's just ridiculous, you guys. So finally we get in the car and I'm slamming and banging. Foreshadowing again. Let me backtrack. This is where it's going to be super embarrassing, you guys. But again, it's going to be raw. I told you I'm going to tell you everything that I've gone through. Prior to that, I was so upset that she kept continuing to get ready. And like I said, I didn't want to go. And instead of just telling her, I don't feel good, I don't want to go, no, I'm just acting ridiculous. So I go in my room and I kept dropping things, just dropping, like I said, my hands felt like they just weren't working. I felt disoriented. I felt really crappy. So I went in the bedroom and something happened. I couldn't even tell you guys what it was. I couldn't find something. And everything that was on my dresser, I took it and swiped it off the dresser. It went flying all in the room. Sweet Laura here having her little fit, like a child. But you guys, I can't help it. I couldn't help whatever was going on with me. Like I said, I wanted to crawl under my skin. I literally wanted to crawl under a rock out of my skin. I just felt the worst I have honestly ever felt, I think. And it just was awful. And um, so finally we get in the car and I'm slamming and banging. And she's like, we're not going to go, if you're going to be like this. I said, I don't want to go, Mom. I don't, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I don't want to go. So she gets out of the car and I'm like, I got to get out of here. I just can't take it. So I go taking off, you guys, in that rage on the road. And thank God, I don't know, you guys. I was sane enough to recognize this could be really bad. So I pull over into this Walgreens and I'm sitting there, I can't tell you how long, just in the parking lot. And I'm just staring, I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't want to go home, because now I'm embarrassed. I feel bad because I didn't go to my sister and meet my sister and dad. And all these things are going through my head. It took everything finally after like I said, I don't know how long to drive back in my neighborhood, to pull in my driveway. Then I sat in the car for another half hour and finally got the strength to get out of my car. So then I just sit in the garage with the garage open. And I'm just watching the clouds and I'm calming myself down. I'm just really like trying to do some kind of meditation to calm myself down. And finally, I go in the house and I walk right past my mom's bedroom and I go sit down, in my bedroom trying to clean up the mess that I just made. And she comes from behind. She must have heard me or something. Put her hand on my shoulder. That's all it took. I had just bawling. She's like, what is wrong? I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me, Mom. I don't know, but I can't handle this. I go, I feel like crap all the time. It's so sporadic. I said, but this is the worst it's ever been. And she goes, you need to make an appointment with your doctor. She said, your hormones are probably out of control. She said, I had very similar experiences. So she made me feel better. And, I should have went to her in the beginning. I really should have. But, I'm always trying to get myself out of these situations, you guys. It's like, I don't want people to judge me. I don't want people to, think I'm a bad person because I'm throwing stuff all around, breaking things. And but I recognize I can't help it, so it's going to have to be something that they, maybe it's just a some hormone pills I could take or something. But I do know men go through it too. I did find that out where they can go through this, where they have the mood swings really bad. They lose muscle tone, where we gain a lot of belly fat, which you guys, I'm telling you, yeah, a lot of my clothes do not fit. And that is really hard because again, I don't feel good enough, to be with Daryl. And I feel so bad for him. And I will say, you guys, and this is it might be TMI, but it has to be said because if you're going through this, I want you to know that it could possibly be very normal. I found that when we were intimate, it was very painful, and it kind of deterred me not to do that again because I felt so uncomfortable. And then I kept getting a lot of urinary tract infections. And after going on Dr. Google, I found that that is common as well. So a lot of these symptoms I'm having, I could read on it, but I didn't hear somebody speaking of it. Like I said, unless it was a doctor. And so I just wanted to be here for you guys. And I apologize if I sounded so depressing, but I can't help it. That's where my mindset is. And I almost didn't do this video. I almost said, you know what, I'm just going to set out, another community post and just say I'm going to take some time off until I can get myself mentally back in place here. But it was so weird after that great cry with my mom and being able to say the words out loud. I woke up today feeling so much better. I mean, nothing to where I was the past, 72 hours. And again, it could possibly be maybe the hormones are shifting again. Um, but I guarantee if that is, the case where they're going to be like this, it's going to happen again. So I definitely want to see a doctor. It could be the stress, with everything in the world and my jobs, I don't know. But I do know that, like I said, when I spoke these words out loud to my mom, I felt so much better. So I said, you know what? Maybe if I talk to my friends and tell you guys everything, I'll feel better. And which right now I actually really do. Maybe when I go back to edit this, I'll be like, no, Laura, you're not putting this out. I don't know yet. But I just wanted you guys to know that I think a lot of this is normal. Again, if you're going through it and you don't want to speak to me on the feed here, you can always go on and Instagram and direct message me. Nobody sees that but you and me. I just want to be here for you, and you guys have always been here for me. So, yeah, I just want to thank you for that. Maybe next week, I might tell the story of the house break-in. I'm not sure how I'll be feeling or how the world will be feeling by then, but eventually we will get to that story. But so I don't know, next Monday might be another surprise. All right, you guys, I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you did find it helpful. I love you with all my heart. Thank you so much again for being here, and until next time.